Protests and arrests in the U.S. state of Missouri ahead of a key decision in the Michael Brown shooting case. Brown was an unarmed black teenager killed by a white police officer. That was back in August in the city of Ferguson. A decision on whether or not to bring charges against Officer Darren Wilson could come at any time. CCTV's Hendrik Sybrandy is joining us live now in Ferguson with details.
Well, Mike, a flurry of activity here earlier this afternoon. The St. Louis County prosecutor announced that a press conference would be held to announce the grand jury's decision. He didn't say where or when. Since then, we've heard absolutely nothing. Now, the grand jury did meet today. We do know that. They've been meeting weekly here since August 20th. That's 11 days after Michael Brown was shot and killed. A couple of interesting developments today. A local school district here announced they're canceling classes this coming Monday and Tuesday because of the possibility of unrest. We have FBI agents, 100 of them now moving into the St. Louis area just in case. The National Guard is also in place. They were called up this past Monday. So from all indications, a decision is near. It's a city that's trying to go about its business, but there's really only one thing on people's minds.
I think that sometimes we see humanity as sometimes needing to be perfect, but people are angry, and it's okay to be angry.
2 months after a grand jury began hearing evidence related to Michael Brown's death, the street where he died remains covered in flowers. Emotions in Ferguson are high, and there's worry in the community about what could happen here once the grand jurors finish their work.
They're fearful, they're scared. They range from the young to the very old. People have expressed concerns about their medicine and being able to get to medicine. I mean, by and large, let's just face it, the city is really in a panic at this point.
It's panic all over St. Louis. I go in so many stores that people are stocking up on water, food, and gasoline, and lights and cameras.
The anger in Ferguson about Officer Darren Wilson's actions and the way police reacted to that anger back in August remains very real. Many here say they're ready to take to the streets again.
I feel like Darren Wilson should be indicted because he killed the 18-year-old boy that did not deserve to die.
Today, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder asked that police minimize needless confrontation if new protests erupt. And Michael Brown's father asked protesters to remain peaceful.
And so I ask all those who seek to lend their voice to important causes and discussions and who seek to elevate these vital conversations to do so in a way that respects the gravity of their subject matter.
Hurting others or destroying property is not the answer. No matter what the grand jury decides, I do not want my son's death to be in vain. I want it to lead to incredible change. Positive change.
The mayor of nearby St. Louis says preparations are in place to make sure protesters' rights are respected.
If protesters are nonviolent, police will not be aggressive. But if some protesters turn violent or are threatening, police will respond to keep everyone safe, including bystanders, the peaceful protesters, and the police officers themselves.
Now, this afternoon, Mayor Slay said that protesters will be given lots of leeway if demonstrations occur. They'll be allowed to occupy public spaces much more so than they might be ordinarily. Lots of arrangements and discussions have taken place between law enforcement and protest group leaders just to make sure the temperature is lowered. Tonight, President Obama weighed in on this also. He said he hoped protests remain peaceful. He said people should not use the events here as an excuse for violence. We'll see how things play out here in the next couple of days. Reporting live, Hendrik Sybrandy, CCTV, Ferguson, Missouri.
All right, Hendrik, thanks so much.